What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a part 2 video for the raid linear, the Euphony. In my first video, I quickly went over exactly how it works and kind of started formulating a DPS build with it. In this video, we'll then fully explore that build, comparing it on Strand to Prismatic with the new exotic class items and seeing which is better overall, comparing this to a few different builds in the game and seeing if it is like this secret DPS meta right now. So quickly recapping how this weapon works: dealing sustained damage will spawn Thrillings at the target's location, and Thrilling damage will increase the weapon's damage. So every other shot of this weapon, you'll spawn in 3 Thrillings at the target's location. Every Thrilling that hits will give you 1 stack of the Spindle buff. The Spindle buff can go up to times 25. Each stack is going to be a 2% increase to the weapon's damage, for a total of 50% with times 25. So how can you build up to times 25 as fast as possible? Well, on Strand Warlock, there's going to be a lot of things we can do, and we'll be pairing the Strand build with Apotheosis. Then on Prismatic, we'll compare it to the new exotic class item, which can also get Apotheosis in the left and Star Eater in the right, which will be a very interesting conversation between the two different builds, because there's going to be benefits and drawbacks of both. So starting off with the Strand version, we have Weaver's Call to create 3 Threadlings when we use our Rift. Then we have the Threadling Grenade to get 3 Threadlings when we use our Grenade. And finally on Strand, we obviously have the Needle Storm Super, and the Needle Storm will be 9 Threadlings, so it's going to be like 9 of these projectiles, and once they impact, they'll turn into Threadlings. So starting off with the build, what you could do is use your Rift as the boss fight began, use your Grenade, then use your Super, and that alone would be 15 Threadlings right off the bat. But now we throw Apotheosis into the combo. We'll get increased recharge rate for our Grenade, Melee, and Rift after using our Super, which should last for 8 seconds. Which means, once again, Rift, Grenade, Super. Then we can throw up to 5 more grenades afterwards during the 8 seconds. And look at the other things we can take advantage on Strand. The first will be just using your Arcane Needle melee. You want to do this at least once, if not here and there, because they do a decent amount of damage and they will unravel the target. And the second thing is Thread of Ascent, where activating our grenade will reload our weapon. So the full combo while actually actively shooting the weapon is Rift, Melee, Grenade, Super, then Grenade, Shoot, Grenade, Shoot, Grenade, Shoot. Then at that point, you want to save the last grenade charge to reload the weapon once you run out of ammo, instead of throwing it right away. So in total, you end up shooting 13 shots without having to reload and throwing 5 grenades, all of which takes 25 seconds. And showing off how this would work in the game on an actual target. So if every Threadling hits, by the time you shoot your first shot, you will have times 18 on the buff. On the second shot, you'll have times 21. And on the third and on, you would have times 25. Then as the fight continues, every other shot will spawn in more and refresh the Spindle buff. So you'll just always have times 25 for the rest of the fight. And the final thing on Strand, which would potentially make it better than Prismatic, is going to be Thread of Evolution. You make it so our Threadlings do additional damage. And this will add up a lot, because in this build, I believe you're going to be creating 36 total Threadlings, not including the super ones, which is obviously quite a lot. So looking at the damage increase of this fragment, usually they hit for 17,500, but now with Thread of Evolution, they go up by 33% to 23,306. The other things I need to test before I can start doing all the math is the super damage without Star Eaters, just with Thread of Evolution. And finally, just the damage of the weapon with no stacks. Now I can do the rest of the math based off the stacks you will have. So the total damage of the 13 shots and the super and all that stuff to begin is over 3.1 million, which means the DPS is 126,000. If we remove the super and just look at the weapon DPS, it's almost 106,000, which is all very high numbers for a special weapon. So now comparing that to the Prismatic version, on Prismatic we have all the same abilities. We have Needle Storm, we have Threadling Grenade, we have Arcane Needles, and we have the Weaver's Call. So we have all the same abilities to create the Threadlings. The only difference is we're down the fragments, but on Prismatic, we have access to Star Eater skills and still Apotheosis in the left. And to make up for Thread of Ascent, for the reloading, you could use the Command Fragment, where freezing a target will reload your weapon, And we could use Bleak Watcher and just your first grenade, throw a Bleak Watcher instead of using the actual grenade itself. And that could kind of make up for it, but you're going to be down one grenade, taking one extra shot to get to the max buff of Spindle. And if we look at the comparison of just the supers, the evolution was 771,000, while Starters takes it up to 942,000, which is going to be 21% more, which isn't the full 70% of Starters because with Strand, the Threadlings do more damage and kind of offsets the loss of losing Starters. So all in all, the actual combo itself should look almost identical on Prismatic, and we add up all the numbers, the total damage and total DPS is only slightly lower, but the weapon DPS is noticeably lower. So the way this combo works compared to the Strand one is it's more front loaded in terms of damage with the super, but once you're past the super part, using the weapon and your Threadlings is going to be less DPS overall, so the longer the fight goes, this one will fall off more compared to the Strand version. And comparing those DPS numbers to Still Hunt plus Nighthawk on Hunter, as we showed off in yesterday's video, the Euphony is actually outdoing the Still Hunt Nighthawk combo by roughly 5,000, which is obviously very good. And comparing this to like the most optimal swap combo of like Mountaintop, Outstrike, and Bait and Switch Wolfpack round rockets, as you'll probably expect, neither combo lives up to doing one of the most optimal swaps in the game. But you have to remember that the Still Hunt Nighthawk and the Euphony on Warlock are both purely only using special ammo, while with this you're using double special plus heavy, which greatly restricts your loadout and you're going to run out of ammo if it's like a multi-phase boss fight, where with the Still Hunt and the Euphony, you'll just always have ammo, you'll always have it ready, and they really just can't be beat in terms of efficiency and usage. So overall, the Euphony on Strand Warlock or Prismatic Warlock is the real deal. As you saw, the numbers show it's a little bit better than even Still Hunt plus Nighthawk, as long as there's a boss fight where the Threadlings can hit and it works. And the next time I do the Witness on Warlock, I'll definitely be giving it a try. And overall, just being able to use a special weapon for DPS just feels so good because you can use a LMG for ad clear up to the boss fight, and then you can still use whatever primary you want in the energy slot. And although in this video we showed that the Apotheosis plus Starters wasn't worth it over just using base Strand for this build, I think that role on Warlock is still going to be great for other supers and other builds on Prismatic, so definitely still worth getting. And now we kind of have like the secret sauce for Warlock and Hunter in terms of boss fight DPS that doesn't involve like just the pure meta rocket stuff. So next I have to find something for Titans, I guess. I think I have an idea or two. We'll see where that leads. So overall, just a solid build, and very surprising that it goes toe-to-toe with Still Hunt Nighthawk, if not even surpassing it. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the commentary. There might be a little bit of gameplay left. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.